The steamiest and most outlandish Sims 4 pack ever is coming to the game on the 25th of July. I've had early access to it for about 2 weeks now, and I've been building up some notes, thoughts, and opinions about it to make this review video for you here today. So what I'm going to tell you about this review before we officially start is buckle your seatbelt, grab a snack, because this is an interesting one. There is a lot to talk about, good and bad. As always, if you gain something out of this video, enjoy watching it, make sure to leave a like and comment what your favorite part is. If you have any questions about the pack as well, let me know in the comments section below and I'll try my best to answer. Obviously, I can't guarantee that I answer everything, but I'll do my best. Also, if you're thinking about purchasing Lovestruck on the EA app or via thesims.com, make sure to use code OPTI at checkout in the promo code box to support me and my content. I receive a little commission when you do so, so I appreciate you supporting my content. Thank you. And of course, as always, massive shout out to the folks at the EA Creator Network and the Sims team for making this video and all of the early access content you're going to be seeing possible. All right, without any further ado, let's get into the review. All right, so I always tend to start with Creator Sim, and we're not going to make any difference here. We're starting with Lovestruck Creator Sim. Okay, so Creator Sim for Lovestruck I actually kind of enjoy. I think personally it's one of the best parts of this pack, especially hairstyles. I think we got some really solid hairstyle options in this pack. I'm not going to be using all of them, but there are a couple standouts for me. This one's a big standout, along with this one and this one too. Huge standout, lots of application that I can use this across. You have some new accessories as well, like earrings and necklaces and things like that. You know, nothing too extraordinary in the accessories department. You've got like the masquerade mask as well. There's a few new makeup items as well from Lovestruck, which I actually don't mind. I think they're quite okay, to be honest with you. Nothing too extraordinary, but eyelashes come to the base game now as a separate thing, which is really, really cool. So it's not a Lovestruck feature, but just kind of like a general like quality of life Sims thing, which I'm really excited about. All right, let's move down into clothing. And I actually really think there is a lot of great clothing in this pack. That's one of the shining areas for me in this pack that I cannot fault the Sims team on. They've done a really good job picking clothes that are multi-purpose. I can use them in the world of Ciudad Enamorada, but I can also use them beyond. I can use them in different contexts. They've got great swatches, so while one swatch may not necessarily be the most appropriate for one environment, there'll be a different swatch of another that is perfect for that environment. And I'm really happy about that. That's what I want to see with clothing in this game. I want to see flexibility. This is one of the most insane tops I think we've ever received in The Sims. It is bedazzled, it is jeweled, it's got so many options for swatches as well. Like, honestly, this is giving me like, I don't even know, it's giving me like Gaga vibes, but like Beyonce at the same time. Like, I don't know. It's just really fancy and really out there. I will definitely be using this. Male Sims got a fantastic share as well. A lot of the items between male and female are very similar this time around, or even in some cases the exact same, which I don't have a problem with, but there is definitely a few distinct items for both male and female, which is great. And as I said before, I'm really happy with the split this time around. That's something that the Sims team have been getting much better at in recent packs, in giving us better quality and even splits between male and female clothing, which is great, because for so long now, male Sims have had to go without virtually any clothing in any expansion pack. So very happy, Sims team. Thank you. Fantastic bottoms. This is going to be one of my favorite pairs of pants I think ever in the game right now. It's got some standard swatches, but it's got some patterns. That's why I really like this one, the patterns on it. My only gripe with Creator Sim this time around is the outfits category, because the outfits category is pretty much entirely made up of the costumes from the costume box. And while that's okay, and while I'm grateful we now have some good like party like costumes and potentially even Halloween costumes, including the eggplant, don't ask why there's an eggplant in this game. I just would have liked to have seen a couple more options that, yeah, that's a catfish, by the way. I just would have liked to have seen a couple more options. Like this, I really like. I really like this a lot, and I would have loved to have seen a couple more of this, because there is a couple swatches that are just, as you're seeing now, are gradients, but are also just like single color as well. But most of it is the costumes. The Lucha one still makes me giggle every single time I see it. There's a couple of standard options, but probably not as many as I would have liked to have seen. But hey, I mean, we got a fair few. So one thing I do have to point out is the shoes. We actually did get some half decent shoes this time around, which I really appreciate, especially this pair. In love with this pair a lot. I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of that one. Okay, let's chat traits now. Both traits are in the first category of emotional. You have love bug and you have romantically reserved. Now, I've played with both of these traits. Romantically reserved is a really difficult trait to use if you are wanting your sim to be romantic all the time. So if you are wanting your sim to constantly flirt with people, don't use romantically reserved, because your sim will literally have the options for romance be locked off until you become very close to best friends, good friends with a sim, so you won't be able to use it at all. Love bug is kind of like a funny trait because they're just obsessed with love and they have a much easier time falling in love with people. They have so much an easier time falling in love with people, so they'll do a lot more romance interactions naturally on people. So make sure your romantic boundaries are set up for your love bug sims. But I like those traits. I probably would have liked to have seen another trait, but oh well, these ones are all right. We also have 2 new aspirations under the love category as well. We have the romantic explorer and paragon partner. Romantic explorer basically means that they just want to explore all of the new features of the pack, so all the dates, sweet treats, those kinds of things. Whereas paragon partner is more kind of testing the limits with the romantic boundaries system for your sims. So it'll ask you to like go on dates and have relationships with 2 or more partners at one time. And you'll actually be able to not lock yourself into one exclusive relationship if you set the romantic boundaries up that way. One thing I did completely neglect to mention is that we have a couple of new tattoos. There is a hand tattoo as well that I actually quite enjoy. I haven't used it on a sim yet when I've been playing, but I do enjoy it. This one as well is really funny because I've worked it out that it's a tattoo of Sims names that they've fallen in love with and then broken up with and drawn a tattoo cross through. It's got a couple of color options as well. Like, it's a really cool kind of like funny trait. I feel like if there's anybody in this game that's going to have it, it's going to be Don Lothario. It's just got to be Don. So I'm going to edit Don when I get this pack on release. And there is one last trait as well for your sim on your back. It's got butterflies and flowers and greenery and things like that as well, which is a really nice tattoo. I think with a lot of the clothing in the game though, you probably won't be able to see this tattoo, but it's still a really cool tattoo, and well done to the art team on it. I really like it a lot. So overall, I really do like Cass. It's not perfect, it's not amazing and brilliant, but I do really like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think we certainly got more than I expected from Cass, which I really do appreciate. So if I had to score Cass by itself, I think I'd give Cass probably like an 8 out of 10 in this pack. Okay, let's now chat about the build buy catalog from this pack. And I'm just gonna say it straight up, build buy is okay. There are a couple of standout items for me, but honestly, most of build buy is fairly mild and not interesting. All right, so a couple of standout pieces for me are the beds in this pack. I really do enjoy the beds. You've got this one, but of course you've got the heart bed. We can't not talk about the heart bed making its return to the franchise. The heart bed's got some great swatches as well. That one's obviously like a favorite. But I'm a huge fan of just like the classic black and red. You know, you can't go wrong. You've got a lot of like bar racks, and this is my favorite one personally. This one's got a lot of personality and a lot of color and a lot of decoration on it. And it's also got a mirror in the back too, which I think is just a nice point of difference from other bar racks that we've got in other packs. If you think back to traditional bar racks we've got, and they look more like this or like this one, which both come with the new pack, they've got like a solid back on it, and they've definitely got like the vibe for certain venues, but I think this vibe is more in line with something like the Cozy Bistro kit that we just recently got, which I really like. Some of my personal favorites include the new workout equipment. I really enjoy this a lot. There is a gym, which we'll chat more about later, in the world of Ciudad Enamorada, that is kind of like a really modern and upbeat venue, and I really enjoy this, especially the lighting underneath the treadmill. And if I'm not mistaken, it changes as well when you change the swatch, which is really, really cool. One of my favorite items is the compact bar. This is a one tile. I actually thought it was 2 tiles, but it's actually 1 tile bar, so it's even better than I thought. So traditionally bars have been like this size where they've taken up like 4 or 5 tiles, but this one only takes up 1, which is going to be fantastic for your small homes. So if you're building out a nice house and you want to do that, please do it. This is one of my favorites. This bar, which actually matches up with this one, is so pretty. I am so happy we have a curved bar, because look at that. That is so cool. That is one of the coolest build buy items in this pack, I think. So the bear blanket is obviously, well, a bear blanket. You can woohoo on this. You can put it in your inventory. Oh my God, there's a panda swatch. I didn't even know that. Oh my God. That's kind of sad. I really like pandas, but also it's really cute too. So you can pop these in your inventory, as I was saying, and you can take them with you to like parks and public venues and plop them down on the ground. This one's really cute. I really like it. It's got tons of great colors on it. You can, as I said, woohoo on them. You can have a picnic on them. You can do all sorts of things. You'll notice that I'm skipping by a lot of items. Again, a lot of it's fairly mild or fairly mid even. Like, I hate to use the word mid to describe things, but like, it's kind of like the word that summarizes it for me. It is fairly mid. I can't place it right now because I don't have a wall, but I'm a huge fan of that one. The janitor closet. We need to chat about that. So the janitor closet we've seen in the trailer, it's not just a janitor closet. With the swatches, it can change to just being like a maintenance closet or any old closet you want it to be. So you can make it to your heart's content. Now, this functions exactly the same like the get-together closets. You just pop it in a wall or wherever you want to put it, and your Sims can try for a baby and woohoo in it. There is a unique animation in it as well, where like smoke comes out of like the hole down the bottom and forms a little love heart. It's kind of cute, kind of gross. And that's really all for buy items. You've got some really nice art in this pack, I do have to say. I haven't really spent a lot of time exploring build. I love this one though. This one's featured on a wall in Ciudad as well, and it's really beautiful. I haven't spent a lot of time exploring build mode because I've been doing a lot of gameplay, but I have explored build a little bit, but again, my impressions of it are fairly mild. We have a couple of wallpaper options in this pack, which is kind of nice. Nothing too extravagant or fancy. I like that we've got one like this where you've got one with a tile at the top and then one that doesn't have a tile at the top. I'm a huge fan of that. You got a lot of good color options as well. That was something that For Rent brang that I really enjoyed. Happy to see that in this pack. Also, I really do like this one a lot. I'm gonna get a lot of use out of that. We also have some flooring as well that matches with, so if you want to have like cow print in the wall and cow print on the floor, you absolutely can. Marble as well, which I was really happy to see. Really nice marble. I really enjoy that one. And then you've got this matching tile as well to that one, and then this matches that one as well. And you've got this matching floor tile, and then you've got the matching for that one as well. And while I've got the wall here, let me show you what I mean. So you can put it there like that. So it's just is a door in the wall, and it's a cupboard, and you can go and woohoo in it to your heart's content. Only one fence with this pack, just a basic fence, nothing too extraordinary. One set of stairs. I actually do like the set of stairs because they match this tile. I actually do kind of like them. Nothing, again, too fancy. One tree with this pack. I actually really do like this tree. This tree's seen all over Ciudad Enamorada. Like, if you have a look in this park here, it's all through the park, and I love it a lot. Now, we do have curved pools now in The Sims 4, so I will mention pools because we have curved pools now in the base game, and there is some new pool corners or pool edging with this pack, which is kind of cute. We do have a couple of doors, which I kind of dig. I really like that one a lot. That one's okay. This one I will get a lot of use out of. And this one. This is my hands down favorite door in the game at the moment. And will forever be. This will forever be my favorite door. I will use this in every type of build possible. It's got colors, it's got basic colors, it's got neutrals, it's got everything I could ever need, and I'm so happy. Thank you, Sims team. Archways are a big win in this pack because we have just like regular, like circular arches now that blend in very, very well, and I'm very happy to see that. Like, look how nice those look. They are so pretty. And then these are sliding doors, so that was a big win. We have some new windows as well. This one's got an open variant of that window, so this is variant 1 and that's variant 2. I actually enjoy when we add open and shut variants of things. It makes things feel more alive, so thank you, Sims team. You got big versions of like the smaller windows as well, which I really enjoy. Ones with different like patterns in like the stripes on the window, which is really cool. But other than that, that's kind of it in build buy. I haven't gone through debug yet, and I will go through debug in the coming days. But I'm not gonna lie, there's a few really good items in here that I will get a lot of use out of, and it's certainly not bad. It's certainly not bad. But I think it could have been a whole lot better. I was really hoping for good things because For Rent had some great build buy. Horse Ranch had great build buy, and Lovestruck's kind of like broken that streak a little bit for me, which I was a bit disappointed by. So if I had to score build buy in this one, I think it probably gets maybe like a 6.5 from me out of 10, which is a really disappointing score, but I just think that's where I feel right now. That may grow and these ratings may change over time, but right now, that's where they sit. Okay, so we chat about build buy. Let's now talk about the world of Ciudad Enamorada. Okay, the world is honestly probably one of my favorite things in this pack. It is a stellar world. I love it a lot. You have a total of 13 lots across 3 neighborhoods in this pack. So you have Vista Hermosa, which is more your residential, like low-key quiet area. You have Plaza Mariposa, which is like your downtown, your park kind of area. It's got some residentials and it's got a rental lot as well as a park. And then you have Nuevo Corazon, which is more your upbeat, like it says the pulsing nightlife area of Ciudad Enamorada. So you got the nightclub, You have 2 residential lots, and you also have a gym just next to my camera here. I really do like this world a lot. Let me actually go onto the lot by the gym and actually show you why I like this world. Okay, so this is Nuevo Corazon. I am such a huge fan of Nuevo Corazon. I want more worlds like this. This world feels really, really beautiful. This is the gym lot that I mentioned before. It's got a really like modern and like sleek aesthetic to it. It's got a really beautiful architecture that I absolutely am obsessed with. It's got the curved pool in the game. You can see like the new fitness equipment that we talked about. It's got a real like vibrant kind of aesthetic to it. And that's kind of like seen across this whole world. Like that's the vibe that I get when I look at this world, is I get vibrant. And that's why I like this world a lot. You'll regularly get art pieces like this on the side of a building in Nuevo Corazon in Ciudad Enamorada. But there is one just over here that, oh my God, oh, how stunning. This was actually created by a Mexican artist, I believe, as the world is inspired by Mexico City in Mexico. The Sims team hired Mexican artists to create culturally relevant artwork for this world, which was really, really cool to see. And I do love this piece. This one is actually also in build by. You can put it on like your walls and stuff in The Sims too, which is really, really cool to see. One thing I also really have to admire is how close all of the actual active lots are here together. So this is the gym, but over here is the penthouse lot. That's the penthouse, and there's the gym. I really enjoy that. Obviously, it's not open world, so I can't walk over from my house over here and go to there, which really sucks, or vice versa, but it still will help it feel a little bit more alive. You've got your nightclub as well just here. This nightclub is really cool. I, however, would have really liked to have seen a nightclub or a different type of club that contrasted its kind of style. Let me change it to nighttime so I can show you really what I mean. This nightclub has a really how do I put it? A really moody and like sultry aesthetic to it. So it's really for a certain type of sim, and the sim that pops into my mind is Don. Don is like going to live in this club and bar. He will not leave. And to be fair, every time I've played in here, he's come for a visit every single time. He's always here. So this is a really nice aesthetic, and I really love it a lot. Like the wallpapers, like you got the woohoo neon sign. It's really cool. I really love it. We have nothing like it in the game. However, I would definitely have liked to have seen a different type of nightclub for Sims that don't like this kind of venue. For a sim that wants to go to something that's a bit brighter, that's a bit more open, that's a bit more inviting or something like that, because this is more for the Dons of the world rather than the Bob and Eliza pancakes of the world. Although I did spot Eliza here once and by herself and flirting with another sim. So Bob, I hope you're doing all right. So I think that's one thing that I really would have liked to have seen. I would have liked to have seen another nightclub. There is a lounge in Vista Hermosa that I really enjoy, but it's rather like rundown and dark, so it's not necessarily the style that I was going for. Okay, so this is the Plaza Mariposa neighborhood of Ciudad Enamorada. This is a very different vibe, but you can still kind of feel connected to Nuevo Corazon because you have the city over there, which I really enjoy. They've not necessarily done in the past. They've not necessarily done this in the past where they've really felt connected, but I really do feel connected to Nuevo Corazon by being over here. I really like this town center with the fountain. You can interact with this fountain as well. There's lots of things to do with it. We've got a couple of lots. That's our lot we were checking out built by earlier. You've got the park lot over there with like the gazebo, which is really cool. I like that they've kind of made the park like a big like central park like in New York kind of vibe to it, but the lot is really small, and the idea is that you go and explore everything else around in the surrounding areas to really get the vibe of the park, because you don't have lots that are this big in The Sims, God no. And last but certainly not least is Vista Hermosa. Once again, you've got that kind of like connection feeling to the rest of the world. Like you've got the greenery over there kind of signifying that that way is Plaza Mariposa, and you've got the town over there which that way is Nuevo Corazon. I enjoy that vibe. This is a very different vibe to the rest of the world of Ciudad Enamorada. This one's very colorful, very structured in a lot of the ways that we're seeing, like the buildings of similar shape but just kind of varying color. I really enjoy that a lot. This is the lounge lot that I was mentioning before. Let me show you what I mean when I was talking about kind of like a darker rundown aesthetic. Like it's got a real kind of like hipster vibe to it, I feel, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, definitely not a bad thing, but again, it's a rundown, it's like a moodier place than what I was kind of hoping to see. I wanted to see something that was also a little brighter as well, but this one's also quite small as well, and you can't get to this second floor, so like it's okay, but it's a rather small venue. Across the road from the lounge is the Beso Rapido, which is a really interesting place. It's a motel that you can go and click to rent a room at. It's, I think, $40 a night, I think it is. And it's okay. It's not bad, but it's a rabbit hole. So the idea is it's for your Sims to be able to go and just woohoo in and spend the night there afterwards. Which, I mean, it's okay. It's a woohoo rabbit hole. Yeah, great, wonderful, sweet. I hope we get motels and hotels properly in the future rather than this being all we get. In Vista Hermosa as well, you've got the Wall of Love. I really enjoyed the Wall of Love. Please explore the Wall of Love. It's super fun. You can ride on it like I have there with one of my Sims. Please explore it. But there you have Ciudad Enamorada. I really enjoy this world a lot. For me, Ciudad Enamorada may actually be one of my favorite worlds in the game now. It's got 13 lots, which has been fairly standard from recent expansion packs, which I don't have a problem with. I definitely would like to see more in the future. The only thing that could have made this world a little better for me is if it had an extra lot to have a different kind of lounge, nightclub, or public venue of some kind that had a different kind of vibe to it, rather than that darker and that moodier aesthetic. So for me, the world gets an 8.5 out of 10, which is a really, really good score. Okay, last and certainly not least, let's chat about gameplay, because this is the big one, but I'm going to warn you now, I have some disappointing opinions. Gameplay is the main part of this pack for me, where it's trying to sell you romantic interactions. It's trying to sell you kind of like the whole romance lifestyle. I don't think it's done a great job of executing that myself. I found myself after merely a couple of hours exploring the gameplay being a little bit bored and a little bit of like, okay, what now? My thought process when I played this, unless I'm missing something, which I hope I am, but like also I don't think I am. My thought process when playing this was make some Sims, get on the Cupid's Corner dating app, find some Sims today and explore dating, explore romance. So I was just a little bit confused because I had my Sims go on dates and I'd have them go on several dates. So I'd go on like a date every day or 2 or 3 or something like that, just to kind of really explore dating in The Sims, but I found it getting really stale after the 2nd or 3rd date. Dates, I must say, however, are significantly better now. I really, really enjoy the better date system that we have. So let me show you what I'm meaning really quick. Let's take my Sim Rosemary here just to kind of like demonstrate what I'm talking about. So in your relationships menu, I have her dating Chris here. So I can still go on, I can ask on date. So this one without the icon here is a regular like base game version of the date where you will go on a standard date. But if I go ask to create a date or create a hangout, I'm going to do a date for the purposes of this. This will unlock the new like date creation menu for you, so you can actually use the better date system. Okay, so you have the 3 date options when you start an event date. So it's like an event, like a birthday party or a wedding or something like that. You have the get to know you date, the romantic date, and the romantic repair date. Definitely would have liked to have seen another date or 2 option here. Get to know you and romantic date are the only options you'll really ever have, unless you're doing like a relationship where your romance is on the rocks. Then you'll have romantic repair. So you'll typically do the get to know you date first off when you first meet your Sim. Otherwise, you'll do romantic date. So you'll click on the progress icon. You'll choose your host, which will be your Sim. You'll choose the date, and you can invite guests just like any other event. Now you can choose your options for activities. You need to have a minimum of 3. I really like this system of activities for your date. That way you can personalize it to your Sim's interests. This really brings in the likes and the dislikes system and like the attraction system into the game, into factoring it into your dates. So you can choose, I typically would do the be romantic. For the first few dates, I would choose the be friendly. If you're going to like a bar or something, I'd choose drinks. Star or cloud gazing is something that Sims will do autonomously now. They can do it from park benches, which is kind of cool. And then you can choose any other activity virtually that exists in the game. When I'm playing early access, I don't have access to any of my other packs, but it is going to show you that you do need certain packs to access some of these features. So I can click, interact with animals or something like that if I want to go on a date to like, I don't know, like a zoo or something, like if you build a zoo or something like that, or like I can go to like Snowy Escapes, Mount Komorebi or something like that and do that, or I can go skating with Seasons. They've really brought in those, which I really, really do enjoy. Then if you go to this one, you can choose your venue, just like any other event that you would do. I'm gonna pick the lounge for the purposes of this and then show you what I mean. So your menu in the top left-hand corner, you have to do 10 romantic socialization actions. When you do the get to know you date, it's just entirely friendly, like social interactions just generally, so you can get to know your sim. These options here are going to be relevant to what you selected as activities in your date menu. So because I said romantic interactions, my sim will now want to flirt. Because I selected friendly, I'll choose share interest. Because I selected drinks, it's choosing drink something, which is really, really cool. One of the really cool things, I'm obviously jumping the gun here a little bit, but if you click on your sim and you go over to more choices, you can click date actions and you can ask your sim how the date's going. You can actually now ask them to change the venue, to extend the date, end the date abruptly, or end the date cheerfully. I'm really happy to see the change venue one in here because, well, let's be realistic. Dates in the real world don't necessarily always stay at the same venue. You may go to the movies and then dinner, or dinner then a movie, or something like that. And if you were to try and do that in The Sims, your date would be cancelled because you left the lot. Whereas now it's not necessarily that case. You can ask to change the venue and your date sim needs to agree to it, of course. But you can also ask to extend the date. And one of the really good things with extending the date is your date will actually, if they're having a good time, genuinely, they will actually come up to you and ask you if you would like to extend the date, because they will just feel so positive and so cheery. It'll be great. I've even had some instances in the past where the date has come up to me and asked, hey, I'm enjoying myself. Can we go back to your place or something like that? And you've got the choice of yeah, let's go, or maybe not right now. Which I really enjoy. I'm really enjoying that kind of like active nature of that. And that's why I'm really, really, really keen on the new date system. I really think it's a really solid system. But there's not much more to it. It's still just like your regular just events and things like that, like birthdays and weddings and things like that. In the phone as well, you also have in the shopping tab, you have purchase romantic items. I really do enjoy this. I haven't explored this too much. I've explored it a little bit, but not a whole lot. I enjoy this a lot, especially the sweet treats section. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to buy donut drops. They're 150 simoleons, which is quite a lot. I was too broke the other day to be able to afford this. But you can buy it and they're now found in your inventory. Where are they? They're just there. And you can click on them and you can choose to share donut drops with. You can eat them all yourself if you want to be like that, but you can choose to share them with your date. But you don't have to share them with your date. You can share them with your friend too. It doesn't matter. So sometimes they'll do it sitting down. Other times they'll do it standing up. Right now they've chosen to do it standing up because they can't find a seat, even though there's a seat right there. So they just will... Oh, yeah, see, that didn't go very well. There is an ability for your sim to, like, choke on it, which is not great. So they'll just sit here until they finish the box, sharing food and things like that, you know, and, like, flirting with one another and increasing their romance level and whatnot. One thing I will recommend is invest in the romance skill. You can invest in the romance skill, which is new with the pack, via watching the TV. You can watch telenovela, romance, or reality dating show that will level your romance skill. If you have Discover University, you could probably go to a skill class, I assume. Or just practice romantic interactions with other Sims all the time. That way, you will have a higher success rate of flirting with other Sims, but also when you do actions like this, sharing food with, it will not go as poorly. Let's actually talk about the dating app now. The dating app I really, really enjoy. It's fairly basic, but it gets the job done. Nothing too major about it. So you have to go to the phone and you can click the new icon for Cupid's Corner and you just open Cupid's Corner. I'm doing it while I'm on a date, sorry. This is your little Cupid's Corner app. You can choose to take a selfie for your bio. It lists your sexual orientation, what age sim you're looking for, and then what you describe yourself as. One thing I really like is I thought this was limited to traits. It is not. You can use the trait from the aspiration that you get as well, but you can also use your lifestyles and things like that. So your fear of dead-end job, I really enjoy that. Didn't expect that. So if I have a fear of dead-end job, I can add that to my little dating profile. Your matches tab is fairly basic. Your attraction system works wonders here. It kind of tells you who to steer clear of and who to like latch onto. This sim's clearly not going to work because evil and lone are a turn off. Chris, who we are on a date with at the moment, has loyal, which is a turn on. Again, turn offs, turn on, which is Johnny, so I save Johnny. You've got the option to refresh your matches. You can do this once every 12 hours, so it'll give you some new matches. You've got Javon, who's probably a good one. Again, you've got some great options again. This is going to, again, pull in Sims from the gallery if you set it up that way. There is a setting in the settings menu as well for you to use if you don't want that to happen, or you only want it to come from favorite creators or ones you've got in your library. Completely up to you as to how you do it. I do need to talk about the attraction system, though. I realize I've completely ignored that. Sorry. The attraction system, I believe, is exclusive to this pack, is pretty good. It is pretty solid. My sim here, this is not how she originally looked when I first started my game up. She was a completely different color hair. She had red hair before, and she had completely different clothes, because I found out in chatting to Chris here in his profile that in his attraction, he is turned on by outdoorsy clothing. He likes blue and green clothes, and he also likes green hair. So I did the natural thing that I changed her hair to green, I made her clothing green, and I also gave her outdoorsy fashion. And now when I go to his profile, I can actually scroll down and I can have a look at Chris's romantic feelings about Rosemary. I can tell that he is attracted to Rosemary because of her qualities that she now has. He was fairly neutral to her before, just like Rosemary is to him, but he is now really attracted to her because I've changed her looks up. One thing as well, which is really good with turn-ons and turn-offs, is the romance styles. Play to these. You will thank me later. This sim here, Chris, is turned on by gift giving. Isn't turned off by anything, whereas some other sims are. So if you give gifts, like, you know, you give them a gift of like the chocolate sweet treats box, or you give them flowers or something like that, you might actually, you know, have a better chance of improving your relationship a little bit quicker. But I really enjoy those. I really enjoy the date system. I really enjoy the attractions, the turn-ons and the turn-off system. I really do enjoy that a lot. I think that that's really, really solid. The gameplay around better dates is really, really nice. But beyond that, I don't really have a lot else to say about gameplay because there just isn't a lot. There's nothing kind of in the world to interact with aside from the ring bear, who is like the bear in a blue costume who will walk around and is all sad and mopey. He's like thrown his ring in the pond after being dumped or something like that, and you have to try and retrieve it, and he'll tell you all about it and stuff because it's got magical powers. I'm going to explore it like more in the coming days, but I just haven't had much of a chance to explore it. I really enjoy that though. I like lore, I like backstory. You have the new seductive dance option as well, which is, they're no new animations, they're all animations we've had before, but they're just unlocked for us to use now in seductive dances instead of dances. So seductive dances will like seduce your sim and like give them a higher romance relationship with your other sim. It is an option that you can only do with another person though. So I do like, however, though, that this pack does make it feel like romance is a little bit more important now. It's not just, flirt, 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 kiss, 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 propose, get married, have baby, die. It's not just that anymore. It's actually kind of like an evolving process now. I do enjoy that. I actually really quite like that a lot. Part of me felt like this should have been a game pack, and part of me still does feel like this should have been a game pack because it's not very deep in gameplay, but it is really expanding that aspect of the game of romantic relationships. So I do kind of understand it. However, I still think this would have been better suited as a game pack. There are 2 new deaths with this pack, neither of which I've had the opportunity to see yet, which is really unfortunate. Death by broken heart, and you die by choking on the sweet treats as well. That's probably top of my priority list for the next couple of days. The higher your romance skill as well, I think it's like 4 or 5, if you enter a room, you have the option to then scan the room for like single sims, and then give off like an aura of flirtiness, so that way sims in the room find you more attractive regardless of their attraction system settings. So let's now bring it into gameplay, because I don't think there's much more for me to talk about when it comes to gameplay. I think I've rattled on about every positive thing that I could have, and I've also talked about some negative things. Gameplay, yeah, I said it at the start when I talked about gameplay. I just think it gets a little bit boring and stale after a couple of days. There's just not much to it, which is really disappointing. Other people will probably feel very differently, so I do encourage you to go watch some other reviews as well from other creators who had early access to see about their experiences. But in my personal experience, it's just not really, there's not much. There's not much, unless I'm missing things and I'm just not looking in the right spot, which I don't think I am. I think I'm looking in all the right spots. However, there is a lot that I really like, and I do think it is, if you're really in the market for better romance and better dates, and you're really into like romantic relationships and storytelling with your sims, this is definitely still a pack that you should grab 100%. Overall, if I had to give gameplay a score, I think maybe like a 7.5 out of 10, I think. So if you take all the scores that I gave each area of the game, cast, build, buy, the world, and gameplay, and you average it out, it comes to about a score of 7.6 out of 10. It is not like an insanely good pack, but it's a good pack. It's not a terrible pack, but it's not fantastic either. I really had high hopes and high expectations for this one, which might also be why I was kind of let down a little bit and why my score is a little bit lower, because I had the kind of impression that we've been asking for romance, better like love things for so long now, that we were hoping that they do it really, really well. And I just don't think there's much. It's just not much, which I'm really disappointed by. I will definitely still be playing this. 100% I'll still be playing this, and it will definitely be something that I use. If you're somebody who is, as I said before, storytelling, is super interested in like romance and dating in The Sims, definitely pick this one up. If you like good creator sim and like a really good world as well, this has really got that. This pack has really got that down pat. The build buy is really, I honestly, we deserve better in build buy than what we got for this one. It's just fairly mid. It's just base, like really just mid tier items, and nothing, not too many standouts. The world, as I mentioned, stellar, absolutely gorgeous. One of my favorite worlds we'll probably get in this whole game ever. But gameplay is the part where it really like should have delivered a lot better on than what it did. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be picking up Lovestruck, if this video has changed your mind either positively or negatively into picking up or not picking up Lovestruck. I'd love to know in the comments. I'd be more than happy to respond and like have a little chat about my experiences in Lovestruck. If you are going to be purchasing Lovestruck, as I mentioned before, make sure to use code OPTI on the EA app or via thesims.com in the promo code box at checkout to support me. EA have been super kind and gave me a supporter creator code, and I receive a little kickback commission every time that code is used in a sale. So I do appreciate it very much. Thank you for supporting my content. But thanks so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I know this has been a long one. My review videos are usually quite long, but I feel like this one's been quite long. I've been filming this for an hour, so I don't know how long the eventual video will be. Thank you if you made it the whole way through. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss another video. Hopefully I'll have some more videos going up and some shorts as well, or talking all things Lovestruck. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.